Hey, what's up guys and gals? Danny Lennon back with another Warrobots video. So we got some big changes. Update 11.7 actually starts today. It is Tuesday, January 20th, and 11.7 is here. Just remember, not every single thing goes live on the first day of the update, but a lot of it will. So the first thing, this one can benefit everybody because, hey, we can all use this module for free, or for a couple of power cells, I should say. But the unstable conduit just got a damage increase of 10% damage for 5 seconds every time you use it. So it will now increase your damage for 5 seconds. Next, it says green durability restored. So I guess that means this is restoring your gray damage. 40% gray damage restored over a period of 5 seconds. So when you activate this thing, it's now going to last 5 seconds. And it's going to do different stuff. But that's why they call it unstable, is because it always changes. And the next thing says max durability increase 1.5% for every activation. So every time you activate that, you're going to gain an additional 1.5 hit points. And it's going to have a 18-second cooldown. Now, it doesn't say anything about healing, just restoring gray damage. Anyways, during this update, this module is going to be pretty darn good, and you should probably consider using it if it's not too many power cells. And here's a list of things that they just fixed. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to read this all off. Pause it if you need to, but these are all the issues that the game fixed on this update. So there we go. But bam! Let's move to the next thing. Next up, we have the Ultimate Leo. So Ultimate Leo just got added to the game with an ability called the Ultimate Boost. The robot gets a temporary gradual damage increase with its field of view better focused on the opponent. I'm not sure what that means exactly. And Reflector. For the duration of the ability, the robot has a protection which partially blocks received damage and redirects it back to the one dealing it. So the reflector does not fully protect the robot, however, it cannot be mitigated. So basically when you shoot this thing, it's going to deal damage back to you is what that is. It's a reflector shield. And those are the stats right there. 3 mediums, 1 heavy, 420,000 durability, 50 km/h movement speed. It says bonus for Mark II, so you're going to get a 40% reflector at Mark 1, 60% at Mark 2, and at Mark 3 you're going to get maximum damage increase. Man, it goes from 15 to 30%, so that's a big damage bonus right there at Mark 3. I mean, that's a huge difference. That's double. I don't know, I think that's double. I'm not good with math. 15% to 30%. I'm pretty sure that doubles the damage. You can figure it out because I'm a big dumb dummy. The brand new weapon, the Ultimate Tempest, is coming out. That is a heavy weapon. It's going to deal DOT damage. It's a kinetic weapon with a 800 meter range, 3,372 per particle. So every bullet deals that much damage, I do believe. Particles per shot 1. It's going to have a shot interval of 0.18 seconds, 70 ammo. And it's going to have a 10-second reload plus reload amount 70. Next, we have the Ultimate Molot T. It's a medium weapon, does DOT, kinetic, 800 meters, 1,663 per shot, particles per shot 1, 0.18 second shot interval, ammo 70, reload interval 10, and reload amount 70. There's a new robot specialization coming out called the Tank. And now I'm not really sure if some of the older robots are going to get this or just the new ones, but permanent effect, durability increased, incoming damage reduction. So more durability and you take less damage if I understand that correctly. The passive module, you can have a armor kit or a self-fix. It says the next permanent effect is durability increase, coming damage reduction. A repair amplifier or a defense unit, another thing, permanent effect, durability increase, incoming damage reduction. But basically, it's a new specialization tree that should be designed to make your robots tanky and durable and very hard to kill. But that does come with a new module, the defense unit, a special defense system that increases the robot's defense points. So if you choose a defense unit, your robot will get more defense points. And that means you take less damage when you're shot when you have defense points, unless the weapon you're being shot with goes through the defense points and has mitigation. So there is a brand new robot coming out called Ammit. So this thing is probably going to be pretty crazy. I believe this is the robot that's going to have the new tank specialization. So this thing is going to be quite interesting. So basically this thing has an ability called Slow Down Sight. This is a passive ability. The robot has a continuous operating built-in weapon. In passive mode, the gun on its hull automatically attacks enemies in a cone in front of it, applying the slowdown effect. And I guess that just constantly shoots no matter what. If you're in the passive mode and you're in range, that weapon will just continuously fire, is how I believe they're going to have it set up. I haven't got to try this on the live server yet, so I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Test servers and live servers are very different things. Just remember that. They test it out on the test server, and then eventually they set the stats how they want it, and they bring it on the live server, which could be very different than how it was on the test server. So the next ability is Defensive Absorber active. When the ability is activated, the robot deploys a frontal absorber shield. Those are purple shields. In general, you can't shoot through those. If you do shoot the purple shields, normally it charges up the robot's ability and makes it stronger, so never shoot purple shields. But it says all damage absorbed by the shield is converted into additional defense points, making this thing much harder to kill. The accumulated defense points are preserved until the end of the match. Okay, so basically you get defense points that never go away is what it is. That's crazy. So basically this thing's going to have a built-in weapon, a shield, and get a whole crap load of defense points, which means the longer this thing is in battle, the stronger it's probably going to get. Especially if it's running like the new Conduit and everything else. That's probably going to be nasty. This robot's probably going to be nasty. Now, if you Mark 3 this thing, is going to get 50% less gray damage, so that's definitely something you want to Mark 3. If you can Mark 3 this robot, do it, because that's a big boost right there. At Mark 2, the amount of added resistance absorbed is increased by 50%, so that's huge. Mark 2 and then Mark 3 are two major milestones that are going to make this thing better. It's got 3 light weapons, 1 medium, almost 500,000 durability. I mean, it'll be way more than that after you put your modules and drones and pilot skills, 48 kilometer per hour movement speed, and the tank specialization. Next, we have 3 brand new weapons, the Hippo, the Kroko, and the Liodari, if I'm saying these correctly. These are really cool looking weapons. There is a light, there's a medium, and there's a heavy, and they do not seem to have a special effect. It says non-applicable, so I believe there is no special effect. These are just straight up weapons that deal damage and no crazy BS that goes along with it. Now, these do have a range of 350 meters per hour, damage per particle, so for some reason, okay, that's the light, the medium, and the heavy stat right there. So 24,000, 26,000, and 48,000, depending if it's light, medium, or heavy. So the heavy's got a huge boost up. Look at that, 24 and 26 are really comparable. And then we go up to 48,000. That's crazy. Particles per shot, so that's a single shot. Shot interval every 5 seconds. So I guess that's 1 shot every 5 seconds. Ammo 1. Reload interval 5 seconds. Reload amount 1. Okay, that's the thing. Next, we have something here called Scales. It says face your sins. It's basically a nasty Anubis from Egypt right there. It looks like, almost looks ultimate. I believe this is a drone, guys and gals. It doesn't actually say on here. It doesn't say that this is a drone, but this is a drone. So the first ability, every time the robot receives damage, it becomes temporarily immune to defense mitigation. So that is huge for a tank right there. That's going to be great for tanky robots. I mean, that's going to make so people's weapons can't go through your defense points. This would be good for the Fenrir going by the first ability. Ability number 2 increases the robot's durability. The effect is constant while the drone is attached to the robot. So basically, from the time you drop in to the time your robot is destroyed, you have more durability when running this. It doesn't say how much. Number 3, if the enemy is affected by the slowdown effect, the drone can apply another slowdown effect to the enemy. So if you're running a tank or a robot that has slowdown effect built into it, or I'm assuming weapons will slow down, this is going to give you a big old bonus, which is going to be good. It'll be like a crazy slowdown, and your robot's going to move across the screen like a turtle. Now, number 4, the damage received by the robot is decreased for each slowdown effect applied to its enemies, meaning, you know, if your robot doesn't have something that slows the enemies down, you're losing a lot from this drone. So basically what you want to do is run this for tanks and then run some sort of slowdown, and it will make the robot pretty sweet, pretty durable, pretty awesome, hard to kill, something like that. Next, we have a new pilot, Mei Lan. So this is going to be for the Liodari family of weapons. The Hippo, the Kroko, and the Liodari will reload faster. All right, so that's going to make the weapons a little better. A worthy successor to the family, the Ammit robot accumulates the taunt effect with its built-in weapon. So basically, you put this on the Ammit, and it's going to have 2 special skills. It's going to have one for the robot and one for the weapons. Now, you know, I never thought about this. I don't know what happens if you put this on a different robot and run those weapons. I wonder if you would still get the bonus. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to have to try that out, actually. That is something we will try out in another video and find out. Now we have other additions to the game. We have Lian Xin Bai. I'm probably saying that super wrong. Again, please name these things Tom, Bob, John, Jimmy. Things we can pronounce. I mean, Lian Xin Bai. Am I saying that right? Probably not. Probably not even close. Darn it, Pixonic. I don't know how to say that. It's horrible. But this is a new pilot for the Hastatus robot. Each time the stasis barrier effect wears off, the Hastatus robot gains a speed boost and restores 10% of its durability. That is going to be a really good pilot for the Hastatus. Also, the Gladius and the Pilum weapons increase damage. So that's another one that has an effect for the robot. And it's got a special ability for those sets of weapons. So this pilot does have 2 legendary skills instead of 1 like the old robots. And now we're back to the technical fixes. So did we miss anything? Conduit, pilot, we got the guns, the other guns, we got the robots, we got the new specializations and module, we got the pilot there, we got the drone, we got the weapons. What else do we got? We got the robots. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there. So that's all the new stuff coming out. There are special editions, Warrior Ammit. Okay, so yeah, the robot's going to come with, I guess there's going to be a regular and a special edition of the Ammit, the Hippo, the Kroko, and the Liodari. I'm probably saying all of those wrong. I'm actually a little bit scared to see what this new robot's going to be like on the live server. I mean, I'm telling you right now, test servers, they change things, right? They put it on there for testing. They change the stats around. You know, they run it a couple of weeks. They change it to something else. They run it for a couple of weeks. They change it to something else. And then they go, okay, now we know what we want to do with it. And those numbers may be very different. I mean, I've seen things on the test server that were absolute crap. They were horrible, and I was like, why would they even make something so bad? And then when it got to the live server, it was crazy. It was just crazy. And I've seen things that were so amazing on the test server. I'm like, this is going to be horrible to deal with. And then when it went to the live server, you were like, whoa, this thing sucks. I'm telling you right now, don't judge anything by the way it is on the test server. Even the regular robots and weapons and all that stuff aren't always accurate. Every week, Pixonic makes a new test server. Sometimes they just kind of slap some things together, and the numbers may not, I'm just telling you, things on the test server are not accurate. I think the only thing you can really count on being 100% accurate is what they're actually testing that week. That's where they put all their time and effort, is to setting that stuff up. But then again, that stuff may be very different than it goes live. So honestly, nothing on the test server is accurate. Not to be a jerk, I do see a lot of YouTubers making test server videos where they're comparing this robot to that robot or this weapon to that weapon, but honestly, I think those are extremely inaccurate. I don't think you can trust that at all since it was on the test server. Stuff on the test server isn't always the same as it is on the live server, and you don't have certain things. There's just too many differences between the live server and the test server for me to be like, hey, you can actually like go by this. I don't think you can. I don't think it's even close to the way things are on the live server. So personally, I say don't judge anything by the test server ever because it's a test server. It's not the real thing. Anyways, that's all the new stuff. Hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You guys and girls are amazing. And don't forget to check out the Warrobots web shop. Use code DannyLightning at checkout, all lowercase and one word. And that helps my channel. Doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you do buy something over there, don't forget to use my code. You'll see my affiliate links, the Danny Lightning merch store, ways to help the channel, game news and info, and a bunch of other junk down there in the video's description. Thanks for watching. You guys and girls are amazing.